back to Unsightly Opinions. If you're new, my name's Tamara, and today we are going to be doing my very first tech review on this channel. There's been a lot of buzz going around about Microsoft Soundscape, the new mobility and navigation app for blind and low vision people, and we're gonna get into all of that. We're gonna do a little bit of a tutorial, walk you through what it can and can't do. We're gonna take it out into the real world and show you what actually happens in a real environment and push the limits a little bit. And then I'm going to tell you my thoughts about the app and where I think we could have some improvements and where I think it's really, really helpful. If you like content like this, please don't forget to subscribe. I know most of you don't subscribe who watch regularly. It really helps me out, so please consider doing that. Anyways, without further ado, let's dive in. First, let's look at the app itself. If you have some vision, it will appear on the right-hand side of the screen right now. And if you don't have vision, you will hear VoiceOver reading aloud in a normal rate of speech, so it won't be super fast if you're new to screen readers, and you can actually hear what the different menus say. I believe this app is available on all of the major platforms, whether you're using iOS or Android. You can download it on your respective app stores.
I forgot to mention here, this app is entirely free to download and use.
So let's start at the top. Once the app is open, in the top left-hand corner,
Menu button.
You get a menu, and in the menu you can access different things like your settings. You can access tutorials under help. So if you need extra help about how to use that app, that's where to go. When you're out and about, in order to navigate, your phone is kind of used as a representative of where you are in space. So they recommend that you hold your phone flat out in front of you with the screen up towards the sky, where the bottom of your phone or where you plug it in towards you, and the top of your phone facing away from you. And then you can rotate that through space all the way around you and locate different objects in space. When I heard about what this app could do, I thought that it was going to be fantastic and really solve all of the problems that I had when navigating. But we'll get into my opinions later. Next, I think I want to mention that in order to use it in 3D space, headphones are recommended because it will tell you in stereo, so either in your left ear, in your right ear, or in both ears if it's straight ahead of you, what's around you. And that can be useful as a sound clue to find and orient to different objects or locations. There are several different features that I want to go through. At the top of the screen,
Search for a place or address. Search field.
There is a search field where you can type in any place or address that you'd want to go. If you continue scrolling down,
Tap here for COVID-19 information for Soundscape users and mobility instructors.
there's some information about the pandemic, but that's not important for us right now.
Places nearby button.
You can search for places nearby to you. If you don't know exactly where you're going, or you're looking for a specific type of thing and you want to explore what's within walking distance, you can do that. I'm going to double tap on places nearby.
Soundscape. All places. Public transit.
So you have all places, and you can double tap on that to go through a menu. I'm not going to do that right now because I don't want you to figure out where I live.
Public transit.
Public
button.
transit. It lists all of the different bus stops.
Food and drink button.
Food and drinks, so restaurants and other things like that.
Things to do button.
Things to do, so those would be attractions like water parks, swimming areas,
Banks and ATMs button.
banks and ATMs,
Essential services
and essential services like hospitals and doctors' offices. So you can go by and subcategorize by your list. But for right now,
Back button.
we're not going to tap on that. We're just going to go back.
Save markers button.
Once you find a place, or you type in a location, or you are at a location, you can save a marker. And a marker is a thing that you create, so anytime you come back to it, you can locate that as a point of interest or personal spot of interest to you. Say you visit a mailbox 4 blocks from your house, you can mark that as a specific thing, and this app will remember that for you.
Current location button.
It will give you information also about your current location. Again, I'm not going to tap on that because I don't want you to know where I live.
My location.
In the bottom
button.
left, you have a button called My Location. And what that does is it will give you a combination of different items. It will tell you the direction you're pointing in terms of cardinal direction. So you're pointing southeast, you're facing northwest, you're facing north, which can be very helpful for orienting in space.
Around me button.
You could also hit the button next to that on the left called Around Me, where it'll tell you all of the things that are close to you that might be within walking distance, so you could choose a point of interest or create a beacon.
Ahead of me button.
You can look at what's directly ahead of you. That's the button again, middle button on the right.
Nearby markers
And then
button.
on the far right, you have nearby markers. So it'll tell you all of those points that you have marked in the app that are near to you. Once you pick a random location, it doesn't matter what it is. Once you type in the destination or find it in one of the different menus, you can set what's called an audio beacon. And an audio beacon shows you in 3-dimensional space, as the bird flies, where your object that you're looking for is. That can be a bit confusing. It does not tell you the direction you have to travel to get to your destination. It doesn't tell you whether you should turn left or right when you get to an intersection. You have to rely on a different mobility app to do that. The ones that were listed for me were Apple Maps or Google Maps. I prefer Google Maps because I haven't had a lot of luck with Apple Maps, but it's whatever your preference is. Next, I want to actually go out into the real world with you. Robbie is going to take me somewhere I have never been before, and I'm going to have him try and get me to a destination without any intervention on his part to see if we can get there. And that's really going to test out the app so we know what happens in the real world and what the strengths and drawbacks are. This is actually the second time I am recording this video because the first time I tried to do it with bone conduction headphones because I thought that was going to be a brilliant way that I could still listen to the environment, leave my ears open, not have to interact with my headphones, and be able to hear everything around me. It didn't work so well. I don't know if it was because I had badly fitted bone conduction headphones, whether they were inexpensive, or whether it was because I was using them in Canada in the wintertime. What actually ended up happening is they quit halfway through, and I not only lost access to my phone and voiceover, but my phone still thought it was paired with the headphones, and I was completely lost, dead in the water. So I strongly recommend hardwiring headphones if you're going to use headphones. We are at our second undisclosed location. I have in-ear headphones this time. They're hardwired to my phone, so I'm hoping that these work better. I know that you do need to use headphones to get that 3D sound, although I'm going to try and pull the headphones out when I'm crossing the street with at least one ear, hopefully both, so that I actually can make a safe decision about when to cross. It's not how I was hoping this would work, but let's give it another shot. Robbie has parked us in the middle of a residential area, and now I'm going to try and find Archbishop MacDonald High School. I'm finding a high school because it's actually something that I do regularly in my life. I speak at a number of different schools, so finding a school when I'm transiting alone is something that I have to do regularly. I am screen recording, so you'll see the app, if you have some vision, pop up on the right-hand side of the screen, so you'll see everything that's happening. You will also hear what's going on around me because I'm screen recording the sound as well. So whether you have vision or not, you should get the same information I have. I will try and describe what I'm doing as I do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to the search bar, and I'm going to type in the address, A-R, and I'm just going to, so that's the one I want. It says it's about 400 meters away, and I'm going to start an audio beacon. Double tap to activate. Now I'm going to swipe out, and I'm going to go over to Google Maps, and I'm going to activate that so it actually gives us directions. I already
Head
had that
southeast
pulled
on
up.
107B Avenue Northwest, 145th Street Northwest toward 107A Avenue Northwest.
Okay, so it wants me to go southeast. I'm going to go out of Google Maps and back to the other to the Soundscape app to kind of determine my location by pressing the bottom left-hand side of the screen.
Facing southwest along 145th Street Northwest.
Okay, so I think I'm going the correct direction because if I turned around, I'd be going north and I need to go southeast. So I'm going to assume that at some point this sidewalk is going to bend. I'm going to put my mask on, even though we shouldn't come into contact with any people. I just want to be extra safe. Oh, okay, and when I turn my phone to the right, almost behind me actually, it's telling me that's the direction of the school. But Google Maps is telling me, hold on, I'm going to turn around and see what that says.
Facing northeast along 145th Street Northwest.
Google wants me to go southeast, so I'm going to listen to Google, even though it may appear to be going the wrong direction. Forward. Let's go, Pacey.
Voiceover Tamara here. I'm speeding through some of this. In case you weren't aware, the low-pitched dings are the app saying I'm going away from the beacon, the high-pitched dings indicate going generally in the right direction, and the highest ding means I'm pointing right at it.
So it's now telling me I'm going in exactly the wrong direction, but I don't think Google has told me to turn around yet.
What you're about to hear is both Google Maps and Soundscape trying to give me information about where to turn and where the intersection is at the same time.
Head south on 145th Street Northwest toward 107A Avenue Northwest.
Goes left.
Turn left onto 107A Avenue Northwest.
Left. Left. Good girl. And I'm gonna check and make sure I'm going south.
Location. Facing east along 145
East.
Street Northwest. Intersection with 107A Avenue Northwest 30 meters ahead to the right.
Okay, so when I kind of rotate my phone around me, kind of heading to my straight ahead and a little bit to the left is actually the way it's telling me that is the right way to go. Forward.
This is Soundscape telling me which intersection I'm approaching and where the streets go.
Approaching intersection. 145 Street Northwest. Goes left. 107A Avenue Northwest. Continues ahead.
Roughly every 20 meters, it tells you how close you are to your beacon.
Beacon. 185 meters.
Okay, so we're gonna use that as our benchmark to know if we're getting closer or not.
Approaching intersection. Service Road. Goes left. 107A Avenue Northwest. Continues ahead. Service Road. Goes right.
So there's a service road on our left and right. See when Patience finds it. Good
Six markers.
reach.
No markers yet. Search for places like markers. First marker.
Forward.
Yeah.
Turn right onto 144th Street Northwest.
Okay.
Beacon. 95 meters. Edmonton Menora. Approaching intersection. McQueen Road Northwest. Goes left. 107A Avenue Northwest. Continues ahead. 144 Street Northwest. Goes right. Fellowship
Curb.
Baptist Church.
Curb. Good girl. So we wanted to go right, right. Forward. Come on, let's go.
Again, Google Maps and the app seem to be contradicting themselves because this is telling me I'm going the wrong direction according to Soundscape.
Forward. Halt. And I'm just gonna put my headphone back in here. Huh. Interesting. This is saying it's going the wrong way, but behind me exactly,
Edmonton Menora Academy.
when I turn my phone behind me, it says that that's the right way. But I'm pretty sure Google said to turn right, so I don't know. It seems to be contradicting itself. Forward.
Fellowship Baptist Church.
So there's a church
Turn
on
left
my
onto
left.
107th Avenue Northwest.
Okay, and it's telling me to turn left now. That's Google.
Beacon. 100 meters.
And it says we're getting closer. We're only 100 meters away now. And I think it's safe to cross now. Forward.
Approaching intersection. Service Road. Goes left. 107 Avenue Northwest. Continues ahead.
Good girl. Yay! Okay, I don't hear anyone coming. Forward.
$5,386 bus stop.
So we're coming on a bus stop, I think. It's on the left.
Heading east along 107 Avenue Northwest. Fellowship Baptist Church.
Another church on the
Beacon.
left.
90 meters.
Okay, we're getting close. And again, it's suggesting we're going in the wrong direction.
Google is about to give me an instruction that I don't quite understand.
At the roundabout, take the first exit.
Halt.
Approaching
just-
roundabout. 142 Street Northwest. Goes left. 107 Avenue Northwest.
Halt.
Goes left. 142 Street Northwest. Goes right. 107 Avenue Northwest. Goes right.
Okay, I'm a little confused now because it says we're at a roundabout. And I'm not sure if I'm supposed to cross here or I've never crossed at a roundabout before. I always avoid them. So when I'm facing towards the traffic at the roundabout, it's suggesting that's the wrong way. When I'm continuing in my line of travel, it's suggesting that that's okay. And the school is almost behind us to our left. I'm gonna continue on this line of travel and see if it goes the wrong way. Ford.
Approaching roundabout with 8 exits.
Exit the roundabout.
Okay. I haven't really left my sidewalk that I was on.
Beacon, 120 meters.
Okay, now it's saying we're further away from our beacon. But Google, again, hasn't told us that we're going the wrong way, so... I'm not sure.
Heading northeast along 142 Street Northwest. Beacon, 90 meters.
Okay, now it says we're getting closer again, so I'm wondering if we just kind of looped away and then back towards it. Okay, so it's suggesting that where we're aiming for is just to the left and ahead of us. It seems safe to cross. Forward.
Beacon, 40 meters.
Okay, now we're getting close again.
School building.
Oh,
Approaching intersection. Service road, goes left. 142 Street Northwest, continues ahead.
oh,
Beacon within 15 meters.
Okay.
Audio beacon has been muted.
halt. I'm gonna tuck my headphone back in. Forward. Find the doors! Find the doors! Find it, Pesci! Find the doors! Find the doors! I think it's on the left.
Heading north along 142 Street Northwest.
Find the doors! Find it! Find it!
School building.
Look at you! You found some doors! Good job! Good job! Good job! Good job! Yes, good job! Now that we've actually talked about how this app works and you've seen it in the real world, I want to talk about my thoughts. Because it doesn't actually tell you directions and the audio beacon doesn't indicate when you should turn or what direction you should go, I found it a bit confusing. Because when I was using Google Maps, even though I was following Google's information and following the directions perfectly, it sometimes showed that I was going in the exact opposite direction to where I actually needed to be headed. I feel that this app would probably work better if rather than telling you where the location was in 3D space, is if it paired with Google Maps or Apple Maps or some other kind of map system and actually gave you that information. I found both apps talking at the same time was sometimes a little bit confusing. I found it disorienting when Google was telling me to go one direction and turn left, and then the app was telling me through auditory beacon noises that I was facing in the wrong direction from where I wanted to be headed. While I do think that it's really nice that it does list out things like points of interest as you pass them, after I got back to the car and talked about the route with Robbie, he said that it missed a significant amount of information and locations or points of interest that might have been interesting to me.
We passed by a Domino's Pizza, a bakery, a pharmacy, a spa, and a fitness center, and it didn't mention any of those as we came across them.
And those were directly next to us as we were walking on the sidewalk.
That's right.
Those were all things that I think I would like to know in 3D space if it's going to announce things. I think the only two things it announced was a bus stop when we actually arrived at our school destination and a church. But I would absolutely love to know if there's a Domino's Pizza, especially if I'm walking by. Maybe I want to grab lunch after I've gone to my meeting or I've gone to my destination. I'd want to know where those kinds of things are. So again, I think there could be some improvement there. In terms of things I really enjoyed, I do like that it does tell you things in 3D space. I think that it's really helpful to tell you if a bus stop's on the left or the right, so you know if you need to cross the street. I think it's really helpful when it announces points of interest, because again, that helps you navigate and create a map of your space better when you can't see those things. And for me, because I don't have functional vision outside, I have to gain my information from very tactile or physical maps of where I'm going. I can't just guess where I'm going and know that it's 2 lefts and a right and then it's somewhere in that strip mall. I have to physically map out each one of those destinations. And sometimes Google Maps won't tell you if it's on the left or right. I also like that it will announce bus stops, because there isn't always a bus shelter that you can hear as you're walking past it. Sometimes it's just a signpost, which to me I wouldn't know is there. While I can hear the echo of a bus shelter, I wouldn't necessarily know which bus stop it was, or if I was looking for a new bus stop I'd never been to, I wouldn't be able to locate that. So I think that's really helpful. That's something that I'm going to be using when I transit regularly. Do I think that this app is wonderful and solves all of the problems that exist when it comes to navigating as a blind person? No, not really. And I was hoping for a little bit more, but again, that's just my opinion. I think it does have its value, I think it does have its place, although I don't know that I will use it as much as I use Google Maps on its own. Maybe if I get lost, or maybe if I'm looking for a very specific location, I'll use it when I get close, but the constant dinging was too much for me. I found it confusing and disorienting when Google Maps was telling me one thing and the audio beacon seemed to be indicating something entirely different. So again, I'd love to know your thoughts. I've only tried out the app a few times, so that may also color my opinion. It may take a little more of a learning curve. Maybe there's something more to it that I'm not understanding. Please share your opinions if you have experience with the app. I'd love to create a community where we can kind of share ideas and talk about what works and what doesn't, so that we can actually improve the technology in the future. Microsoft, even though I'm sure you'll never watch this video, call me. I'd love to help you out. I have lots of ideas for accessible tech. If you like content like this, please don't forget to subscribe, hit those bells and buttons, leave me a comment. I love to hear from you. And if you want to keep up to date with what's going on in between my uploads, I have an accessible Twitch stream Sunday nights, 7:30 Mountain Standard Time, and I have my other social media accounts linked in the description box down below. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.